Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow Room. And today we're joined by Finster, who's down here somewhere. Are you there, Finster? Oh, there she goes. She likes it down here. She really does. She likes to climb around and jump on the shelves and sort of hang. So we will hang with Finster as long as she lets us. Well, okay, there she goes. Cats. There's nothing like them. Anyway, Rimsky-Korsakov. This is our last Rimsky-Korsakov video for the Overflow Room. We have a pretty decent clump of stuff with most of the same music over and over again. Well, no, maybe there's some interesting things here. Some interesting titles that haven't popped up in a while. Well, one that has is this one. This is the Kondrashin Concerto Shaherzad, one of the great ones, unquestionably gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And, you get these because... Well, I have so many of these because they get remastered and recoupled and decoupled and reissued, and so you just keep getting them. And this one is coupled to the Kondrashin Live Borodin Second Symphony, which is very, very good. And the Shaherzad, like I said, is just wonderful, but we've talked about it before, and we don't need to go crazy about it now. Then we've got Les Chefs-d'œuvre de la musique russe with Markevich, Lauren Mazel, Louis Fremeau, and Gennady Rozhdestvensky. There's all kinds of stuff here. So you've got the Ruslan and Ludmila Overture. Who's doing that? That's Markevich. And then we've got the Borodin Prince Igor Polovtsian dances, and with Louis Fremeau and the Monte Carlo National Orchestra. And then we've got A Night on Bald Mountain by Mussorgsky, with who's doing that one? That's with Markevich. Well, that's nifty. With the Lamoureux Orchestra, and the Russian Easter Overture. Oh my God, yeah, fabulous. That's also Markevich. That's super hot. But wait a minute, I've got this mixed up. No, Markevich is doing In the Steppes of Central Asia and by Borodin, and The Night on Bald Mountain is Mazel in the Berlin Phil. There we are. Now we're straightened out. And then we have the Khachaturian Guyana Suite with Rozhdestvensky and the Leningrad Phil. Interesting collection, right? I mean, that's long gone. There were some neat things in that series, though. There was also the Markevich La Mer and other stuff. French music and French people. It was a French collection for the most part. Then we've got this thing, the Russian Easter Overture with Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops, Borodin in the Steppes of Central Asia. Then the rest is all Borodin stuff. Polovtsian dances, Prince Igor Overture, and whatnot. We need an Arthur Fiedler. Let's do it to the Russian Easter Overture, shall we? We need an Arthur Fiedler box with the Boston Pops on RCA. Right? I mean, come on, guys. Get with the program here. Do it. What's this one? Oh, Shaherzad and the Russian Easter Overture with Robert Spano and the Atlanta Symphony. Very, very good performances on Telarc. Excitingly recorded. Really, the sound is better than the Macaris one, although the performances, well, they're not worse. I mean, they're really good, solid, exciting performances. Oh, this was one of the early Marco Polo Rimsky things, and it has, with the Slovak Philharmonic under Bystrik Rezucha, the conductor, doing Night on Mount Triglav, which is Ballada, I think, isn't it? Act 3, the complete Act 3, without the vocal parts. And it's really a cool 30-minute long orchestral tone poem thing. It ought to get played once in a while. And the Pan Voyevoda Suite. So that's nice to have. These were good. It's recommended by Gramophone in the Good CD Guide. What more do you need? Blech. Anyway, but these were good. These were fun. The Armenian Philharmonic under Loris Cheknavorian. They did all kinds of Russian music for ASV. I would love to see an Armenian Philharmonic and Loris Cheknavorian box with all their Rimsky and Borodin and all the other stuff that they did. It was fun. I mean, the playing was rough and ready and raw. The sonics were a little screechy, but it was kind of like good Melodia. I mean, if Melodia had been able to record things vividly, you have all of those really sort of in-your-face primary colors of the orchestra. It was exciting. And Cheknavorian was just a bull in a china shop in a good way. You know what I mean? We have the Golden Cockerel and Tsar Sultan and the Flight of the Bumblebee and Christmas Eve. And they're just, I come back to these once in a while and listen to them, and they are really, really a good time. And here we have Shaherzad. Well, we know what that is. And the fairy tales, Skazka, Opus 29. It's a first-class tone poem that no one ever plays. Ridiculous. Sadko, musical picture, Opus 5, another tone poem that no one ever plays. And the Song of India, arranged by Czech-Navorian from Sadko. And this is, Igor Golovin and the Moscow Symphony, doing the Maid of Pskov, otherwise known as Ivan Grozny, Ivan the Terrible, and the Legend of the Invisible City of Kitezh Suite, which is gorgeous, wonderful music, and the Fairy Tale, Opus 29, Skazka, and the Fantasia on Serbian themes. I mean, there's nothing not to like in these things. These are interesting. Oh, this is Spet Lanoff doing one of these Melodia knockoff things. This was actually made by Melodia, but it was issued by Zix, Z-Y-X, Zix Music. Remember them? They had these were like super budget things, and some of these were very well recorded. They were digital recordings and exciting. This has that really exciting Russian Easter Overture, which we talked about in the previous video. I have 50 of these sitting around, along with the Overture on Russian Themes and Dubinushka and the Fairy Tale Opus 29, Skazka, and At the Tomb, the Prelude to the Memory of Mitrofan Belayev. Or Belyayev, there you go. Fantasia on Serbian themes, and Sadko Opus 5. This was a very nice collection of weird Rimsky-Korsakov at a time when, again, this stuff wasn't so readily available. So that was nifty. Then we've got the Rimsky Symphonies. These are with the St. Petersburg State Symphony Orchestra, which is not the Leningrad Symphony or the St. Petersburg Phil. Don't make the mistake. Under Andrei Anichinov, and you've got the 3 symphonies in the Sinfonietta, all on Naxos. The Sinfonietta on Russian themes is quite lovely. It's a very attractive work that no one ever plays. And the 3 symphonies, well, the best is the third. Antar is, well, it was one of those things, Rimsky didn't know whether to call it a symphony or a suite. So, I mean, Antar is the best of the 3 of them as music things, interesting music. The first and third symphonies are fairly ordinary, but the third has some beautiful moments. The first is Opus 1. It's a student work. There's nothing wrong with that particularly, but Rimsky was not a symphonist. Who are we kidding? And then we've got, Donald Johanos. Yeah, with the Czechoslovak Radio Symphony Orchestra doing the Snow Maiden, Snegorotchka, and the Golden Cockerel, and Mlada. And these are vivid and fun and a little screechy and scruffy because they were then. These were the early Naxos recordings when, they were doing all of that really inexpensive work in Eastern Europe and releasing tons and tons of stuff. And some of it was really quite fine. It really was. And last but not least, Antal Dorati on Mercury Living Presence, the Capriccio Espagnol, the Coq d'Or, the Golden Cockerel, and the Russian Easter Overture with no tam-tam at the end. Piss me off, my God. And then the Polopsian dances, all with the London Symphony Orchestra. And that, my friends, is it for Rimsky-Korsakov in the Overflow Room. There really is kind of a limit to how many versions of the same thing you can get. Oh, no, there isn't. Who am I kidding? I've got tons more upstairs and boxes of it, and I love it all. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.